Hey guys, I'm back with another deck guide today, and this one's going to be a Devotion Nature's Gift deck. So this has a lot of similarities to what we've seen in past seasons, but with Price of Power 9.0, there's some brand new cards that I want to introduce to this, and I think that this is the perfect way to do it. This deck has great point swings, lots of carryover, a good amount of control to stop your opponent's engines, and it's just a lot of fun to play, so bear with me here. We have Ethna Young Queen. This one on deploy spawns a young dryad in the row at the start of round while in hand or deck transforms. So we're looking to get it to the ultimate state, being the Wrath of Broccolon. It has Veil, it'll play for 3 Symbiosis tokens, and it's just a really good tempo swing because it has 12 points and then counting, as we have really strong trees that are going to spawn from our leader with the added Symbiosis tokens. Then we have Gezras of Leda. So we're going to be cramming the back row, so we want to be able to capitalize on that. So with melee, you put it down and it basically goes to the back row being ranged, and then we have the boost all on the row by 1 with Adrenaline 3. So you play this late in the round as a finisher. Nothing changed between this card last season and this season, so it's pretty well an auto include because the goal of the deck is to get as many points as possible. Then we have Force Protector. I like this for multiple reasons. We have a lot of Symbiosis tokens. We're running the double Hammer Dryad, so this could be taken for a Dryad's Caress, or we can just take it for removal with the Nature's Rebuke. So deploy, play a bronze nature card from your graveyard. It's going to help just get whatever we need at the time, and it's going to help increase the amount of specials we're playing for the Gourd. So it's a pretty well auto-include in the old list as well as the new list, and it just makes a lot of sense. Call the Force is great. Call the Force works pretty well with Francesca because this card, brand new card, it has Veil. Whenever you play a special card, remove 1 counter. It has a counter of 3, so when the counter reaches 0, spawn and play a doomed copy of the last special card you played. So we can actually use Call of Forest or Isengrim's Council or Shaping Nature, like one of our really good special cards. Worst case scenario, we can go for one of the bronze ones, but ideally you want to be looking for one of those top-notch gold cards that we could take out with Francesca. The problem with Francesca is that it often eats removal. So, you know, we put this down, it's generally going to see a Heat Wave. They can't lock it, so they have to either use a Heat Wave or Serpent Trap or, you know, anything that's going to banish a tall unit, Curse of Corruption. So it's going to be very tricky to keep it on the board, but high risk equals high reward. And when this card plays, it plays really well. You can imagine this with Shaping Nature plays for almost 20 points for 10 provision, so it's something that we have to take a chance with, we have to risk. Some consideration went into putting a defender, but I think that at the end of the day, this deck is greedy, so we want to just kind of stick to what we're good at here, and that's the greed. Shaping Nature, Echo card, it's great for the Gourd as well. We have the option to choose 1 of 3 different effects. If it's late in the round, I usually like to boost by 8. If it's mid-round, I'd like to take the Vitality and stick it on a Hamadryad, so very versatile here. And like I mentioned, Francesca, consideration to play a double nature, pretty strong if you ask me. Isengrim's Council, it's going to fish for a Dwarf, a Dryad, or an Elf. I stacked up the Dryads on the top end, so we can pretty well get Ethne if we need it. Ideally, we're going to be playing the rest of the Dryads early on or have at least 1 in hand, so I'm not too concerned about it. There isn't really a bad Dryad we can pull into. As far as Dwarfs, I just put 1 Pyrotech so we wouldn't, you know, brick the Gourd. Pyrotech's usually good in round 1, so Gourd is guaranteed to pull in most cases. And of course, for the Elves, we have the option to dig in for Francesca or the Sorceress. So I wanted to put kind of the really valuable Elves here, which is why I went for the Morin lock instead of the other lock, just because I want to kind of keep the odds for Elves looking pretty good. So Council is kind of something we need to have, and again, we can double up on the Council if we are able to get that added attribute. Fauve is really good for deck thinning, helps us play a nature card from our deck, so this is going to kind of help recycle some of the cards, get the Gourd bigger, get the deck thinned. There aren't really any thin packages besides the Fauve, and then of course the 2 convenience cards here, the tutor cards, so we want to just kind of have Fauve in here to keep everything looking fresh and nice. Dunk is great to have. We don't always pull it round 1, but it's ideal if you could just put it on round 1. Mulligan away cards you don't want to boost. This is very tall. I don't want to go too much taller with Francesca. Ethne you would mulligan back so we don't have that transforming and losing the boost that we have. But ideally, Dunk around 1 or on a dry pass round 2 is pretty good. Gourd's going to be like a last save finisher, of course. Deploy, boost self by 0, increase the boost by 1 for every special card we played in the game. So we're going to be getting Gourd somewhere around 15 points if everything works out perfectly. And then, of course, Morin's nice and versatile. It can damage by 2, so 7 for 6, or we can just take a nice lock, and I think that's just great. Nature's Rebuke gets a lot of good value here because the damage by 5 boosts the random treant by 2 if we have a death blow. We're often able to get death blows, especially with the added 2 damage here if we need it, the 3 from here, the Pyrotech. There's ways to kind of, you know, help tutor those kills. And Circle of Life, it's a big greedy carryover deck. Circle of Life, damage an enemy unit by 3, and then boost a random Scoia'tael unit in your hand by 1, or by 2 rather. On the death blow, we have the ability to choose which one we boost, so that kind of helps if we're looking to kind of put something down and keep it safe, whether it be the Dunka or Gezras, for example, or the Hamadryad. We can kind of just choose which one we want to do that way. Sorceress to Bethana, this one's actually worth valuing much more than 5 provision. So on order, create and play a bronze Scoia'tael special card with provision cost equal or lower to this card's power. I like to have it boost up somewhere around 5 to fish for another rebuke. 4 is just fine. Whoops. What do we take out? Okay, good. 4 is fine too, because if we put this down first, get the order, and then put down the Hamadryad, we can actually look for a Caress and not have to use the leader charge. So that's kind of the way that I've been playing it just on the first day, and it feels pretty right to me. The Whisper of Dol Blethen is a really cool card as well. It has Veil. It's kind of an awkward power that someone doesn't really want to commit a card that does more than 3 damage to kill it on the first try. But when you play a special card, spawn a base copy of itself on the row and remove the counter. So it's kind of like the Scoia'tael version of Ethereal. It's going to keep getting 3 a turn passive engine, and what's cool about it is it's actually going to fill the row as well. So if we're kind of short on swarming units for the Gezras, this is actually going to help. I put 1 instead of 2 because it's, you know, not the best play in the deck. There's some that I value a lot more, like these plays here, and of course our top end plays. So this is just kind of a nice supplementary engine that we have going on. And again, it has Veil, so they can't lock it, so they have to commit removal that maybe they're saving in a perfect world for Gezras or something else. So it's really good. It eats removal, and it's not very expensive to have in the deck. Of course, Dryad's Caress is going to be good regardless because we have so many Dryads in the deck, and the Hamadryads especially getting the added Vitality boost when we have Vitality on them, so that's great. And then just a bronze sort of play, we have Pyrotech that's going to deal 4 damage here, a couple Temperings just for the extra nature card status, and it's a really cool deck. So I played a couple little warm-up games to try it out, and you have to stick around for the first game. I got 132 points and made them forfeit. There's a few really good games and what looks like common matchups today that I'll show you guys in this video. Stick around for that. And if you like the deck, I'll be posting it to playgwent.com so you can quickly and easily import it into your deck guides and try it out for yourself. If you like the video, if you like the deck concept, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because that's the best way to support me and what I do here. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. I'm going to be looking at one faction at a time. We have Scoia'tael out of the way, so let's see what we come up for the other 5.
Just great. Any diamonds for little old me?
The anatomical changes slightly exceed my expectations.
Kedmil Vanadane.
Appeals can be filed within 7 years.
Illusions. You've yet to see what they can accomplish.
Think you can keep up with the Novigrad lads?
Reach high into the sky.
Slow, ain't ya?
We do what must be done.
Destiny won't let us talk to strangers.
Lady of fertilize our wood.
My collection's pride. Never witnessed anything equal.
They'll not leave here alive.
We share the
some light
profits, not the
reading.
work.
Though trees live longer than humans, they need protection from.
No, dwarves do not qualify for childcare tax relief.
My lads will make sure of that. No mercy!
Taking our berries. Would you like an arrow to the head instead?
I could drown you in a single drop.
Knees are drowning in shite, but me head's in the clouds. No point in showing this. No point at all.
I'm no beggar. I'm an artist. The pike's king of the pontar! The pike, damn it! Don't trouble yourself with pleas for mercy.
I'm tall enough to kick your ass.
Enid and Glenna!
The soil is fertile with magic, and deadly wine. Manticore venom should be the trick.
to me, little one.
My folk have suffered much.
Uh-oh.
Taking out berries. Would you like an arrow to the head instead?
Fertilize our wood.
Can dwarves fight?
The fish pissing lakes.
Wind whistles, Willowsworth.
Spit it out already. I don't have all day. Ugh, stop gurgling like that.
To play with my prey, I enjoy that more.
Any last words?
Their minds, malleable as clay, and just as squishy.
Spit it out already. I don't have all day.
My folk have suffered much.
Come to me, little one.
gurgling like that?
Yes, they won't let us talk to strangers. Did I scare you? When pigs fly, eh?
Broccolon
Bet
cares
my
for
apple
its
shall not
children.
leave
As do
Broccolon.
I.
Not alive at any rate.
We didn't take the mutation process. We improved it.
I am devoured only to be born anew.
Manticore venom should do the trick.